Why does this one not? Oh. Oh. Right. Why is this one not working? Come on. Why can't I see that? Doggone it. Yes. Add video capture device. Just gonna call this IPAD. Okay. All right, where is it? Where is it? Active conversations. Well, Pastel. No, 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 no. This close. Okay, period. Give me just a couple of minutes, period. Why is this not working? Video capture. Why is that not working? All right, this is plugged in here, and this goes here. And I'm gonna try it again. All right, let's just put this right here. Come on. Come on. There you go. Okay, why is it not showing? What is the deal? Oh, thank goodness. Whew. That was annoying. Okay. All right. Thank you for being patient. For some reason, all my settings just were gone and I had to redo it. So I'm a little bit frazzled and hot. um, so I had some fun today in nature thinking about the last project for next week, and I want to show you that first because before we get started on today's project, because Audrey, you will need to do some homework to prep yourself and get ready for this, and you might need to leave your backyard, so your mom or dad might want to take you for a walk. So it's nature mandalas that I've been wanting to do this project for some time now because I saw these beautiful images. I found them on Pinterest, and I want to show you some that I have for today. You should be able to hear me. So you can see these beautiful images, these three here, with petals and leaves and stones and all different kind of things from nature. And I've saved a whole bunch of them on Pinterest, and they're just beautiful. So I decided today that I would go out and I would see what I could do on my first try. Let's see, where is it? Is it this one? No, Julia, where is it? 2. Image 1, 2, 3. Oh, have I lost it? I lost my thing again. Hold on one second. I'm gonna put it back in there. Paper shapes. Browse. All right, what did I call it? It's in downloads. What did I call it? Day of the Dead. Where is it? I'm gonna find it. Please be patient with me because it looks so, I was so proud of myself for collecting these images and making this beautiful mandala. All right, I'm gonna have to, let's see, did I send it? I might not have. From my iPhone. I might have forgotten to send it, to share it. All right, let me see. All right, okay. All right, there we go. Received from your iPhone. Close that off. And now, let's see, what is that called? I don't even know. Is that in there? Image. That's it. I found it. Okay. All right. Look at this. I made this today. I was so proud of myself. This is, you can see in the background, that's my cardboard circle. And I cut out that enormous cardboard circle for you. This one in the image is a little bit smaller because my overhead view when I live stream would not fit one as big as I gave to you, but I wanted you to have enough space because I got to tell you, it was tricky fitting all of these elements on my cardboard circle in a way that was symmetrical and pleasing to the eye. But you can see the little stones around the edges. I have little layers of a pine cone that I took apart. Those longer pieces are actually pine cones that were missing all of their pieces. Little yellow flowers were the wild strawberries that grow in our yard because we don't take care of our grass, and so we have clover and wild strawberries and all kind of stuff that competes with grass. The little berries I found on a bush out back. So it was fun. It was interesting because I was trying to get as many different colors as I could. And then when I brought them back into the studio, I separated them into piles and I began to arrange them. Now, I didn't glue anything down. You might want to glue yours down, but I was just having fun arranging them. And I know that I gave you some of the little pebbles or little stones and I tried to give you enough so you could go all the way around the edge of the circle if you wanted to, or you might want to use them in a different way. You might want to line them up in a different way. And you certainly can do that. But let me show you some of the things. I went on a walk today before this class, and that's why I say you might want to have your mom or dad take you for a walk, because after I made that mandala myself from things I found in my yard, when I went on a walk, I found the head of an acorn, and they're large, so these were really big acorns, but these either side would make an interesting piece. So I gathered up a handful of those, and then I found these that fell off a tree. They're like some kind of seed pod things, but you could put these in coming out from the center for the radial design for the mandala, but it is a radial design, so you want to start from the middle and have everything radiate out from the center just like we saw in, let's see, there they are. You can see there, this one, the first one with the pink in it has a circle in the center. The other ones, this one has overlapping leaves. And it's interesting, the more that I've looked at these and saved different pictures of them, you can tell how they change seasonally. Like the colors that I found more of when I was doing my nature walk today, greens were still there because there's something that stays green, even in the fall. But golden yellow, bright yellows, deep dark red after it starts to transition, leaves before they turn brown. There were a lot of dried stuff on the ground, but I didn't want the dried leaves. I wanted them kind of in transition, because what you want to have is a variety of different colors and a variety of different shapes. And then you can lay it out on your cardboard piece. And I would love for you to get all that, your piles and your pieces, ready for the next class. And that's why I'm telling you all this now, so that you'll have some time to collect your wonderful pieces of nature and colors, and you can categorize them. Now, some of the leaves that I collected today but have not used, I'm pressing them in a book and putting some heavy stacks of books on top so that the leaves will be nice and flat and they'll lay down, because I did notice that when they curl, they don't lay flat. And so I did I'm going to press my leaves in a book, and I recommend that so you can get your pieces to lay. But I would love to see what you come up with for that. So there is some preparation between now and that next class that you'll need to do so that you have the materials to work with when I see you next week. So I was very excited about that. I think it's going to be fun. I think we'll have a good time with that. And I've got some new pieces saved, so I'll do a different one for next week, and we'll work together doing a live stream, but we'll be putting pieces together, and then I look forward to seeing what you come up with. So for today, I gave you, I hope, a piece of cardboard and a push pin, right? And you might even need an extra piece of cardboard under there. I don't know. I've got 2 thin ones. I might have given you a thick one. I think I tried to give you a thick one because you're going to punch. The push pin is what you make holes in your paper with. So you should have a good amount of the colored paper remaining, and you'll need a pair of scissors. We don't need any glue for this one. And then the modeling clay. Now I gave you a whole package of modeling clay, but I just used, how it comes in these separate long, I guess like a rectangular prism shape, like a block, and they're a different color of each. I had a block of yellow, and I used half of that whole block to put my piece in. Now, what I did in my example that you probably saw maybe when you first signed on, when I made this, and you can see this is half of that yellow block, and it stands up nice and tall. Let me see if I can tilt the screen so you can see how it looks standing. There we go. So there you can see it. Okay, so there's the block, and what I did was I had a ball of clay, and I kind of pressed it so it made the flat spot on the bottom so it would sit, and then I stuck the finished piece in it at the very end. Now, as I rotate this example, you can see we're going to be using some of what you already learned from the first paper sculpture that we did. And, I used the same techniques, the curling it around the pencil and the zigzag-like stairs, wrapping that piece in there. This one, another zigzag. And I tried to think about where my colors were when I was designing it. We actually start here first and end up with the last part of it finishing up down here. So I also gave you some pieces of foam. Now, these were some scrap pieces of foam that I just had in my drawer. You might want to use your larger pieces. You might want to cut them a different way. But I'll show you. I'm going to do another one step by step, and we'll do this together. But I put 2 of these sticks in your art kit and lots of paper, and so we will work on that today. I've got a new stick, and so I'm going to I'll probably use the overhead view so you can see my hands, and but I might come back to this front view as well toward the end. But right now, I'm going to go to this view. Yeah, got apogee. Okay, good. All right, so let's see. iPad needs to come down here. Yeah. All right, so that cuts off my head, but that's okay because I want that right there. I think that'll work. Okay, so the cardboard is just to have some, so I can punch my holes. So for example, if I cut a piece of paper like this, and I know that it's going to be on my stick this way, right? So I punch a hole here and I punch a hole here. And that's what the cardboard basically is for, is so I have something to have underneath when I'm poking the hole in the paper. All right. So this is the pointy end, you got the flat end, and what you looked at my final piece, the pointy end is actually down, there we go, down inside the clay, and the flat piece is up at the top, right up here. That's the flat. If I turn it sideways, I think you can see. Yeah. So we start by poking our paper through here, and then we're going to push it all the way up. So what I'd like for you to do, because and you have to, this is going to be really challenging. It took me a long time to get my piece done today because you have to kind of be careful with the paper. If your hole gets stretched out too big, it can tear, or the paper moves up and down, and we want the paper to be a little bit snug on the stick. So let's see. I'm going to just start. I think for this one, what I did was a variety of colors, a variety of shapes and foldings. Everything was about variety. Now, we talked about variety, the two design principles of variety and repetition last time. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. I think that I might try using variety of color, but repetition of shape. So I'm using both variety and repetition, and you can do it either way for you. You already know how to fold these papers from last time. So I'll show you just with a plain piece. I've got to reach my scissors. How I started with this. So I think I'm going to do some skinny ones, and I don't want them to be too skinny because it'll tear, right? So I'm going to do a skinny strip of orange, and I know that I can have it loop like this one time, or I can have it loop like this through the stick. So I think what I'm going to do is 3 holes. So I'm going to put one here, and you'll notice it's not too close to the end, and I'm going to put one here, and then I'm going to put another one at this end. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put that on the stick. So I'm going to put the end first. Oh, I forgot the foam. Yeah, we got to do the foam first because it's tighter. Do I not have any foam out here? Let me get my foam. So the foam pieces, I gave you some different colors, and they were smaller. We don't really need a big piece. Let's see what I got here. Some pink. I'll use this pink. So I'm going to put the pink on. I know I'm going to do green. I think I'm going to do the green. I'm going to do a green loop at the top. But you have to do the first piece to put on here. It needs to be the foam, because the foam like anchors it on, because it's tighter than the paper. All right, so I'm going to have this be a loop at the top. And I think it's going to be about this big. So I'm going to cut that here. And I'm going to poke a hole in this. Now the thing about the foam, I don't know if you can see this. I'll try to hold it up by the camera. I'm sort of wallowing out the hole a little bit. This is a thicker piece of green. Let me get one that looks just like what I gave to you. All right, so I'll use a piece of purple, because that green is a little thicker. So here's a piece of purple. If I punch the hole, right, and then I take the push pin and I wiggle it around a little bit, you can see how it made the hole a little bit bigger. All right, so I'm going to go over on this side. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to punch a hole in it, And then I'm going to push the metal part of the push pin, and I'm going to wiggle it around a little bit. But I don't want to wiggle too much because the first time I tried this, I completely ripped through and I had to get another piece of foam. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to loop that, and I'm going to push it all the way through to the end of my, see if this is good. Yeah. So I'm going to push that through there. All right. And then I'm going to put this one here because I want it to be a looped piece. And I'm going to go, let's see. Oh, I have to do that on the other end. That's what I did. I pushed it through here and I opened that up, and I pushed it through here and I opened that hole up a little bit. There we go. And then, yeah, that's what I did. I went like that. This, and then I push this around here. There we go. And of course, you don't have to put a loop on the end. I do recommend putting foam at the top though, because the foam kind of stays put. It's a little tighter. All right, so now I'm going to take that first piece of orange that you saw me punch the 3 holes in. I'm going to push this gently on, and you have to be careful. You can stick yourself with that, so you got to kind of be careful. So I'm gently pushing the orange, and then I've got that hole in the middle. I'm going to do that one and push that through. And that's why you can kind of see how it would take me a long time, because I was trying not to tear the paper. And you can leave it kind of spaced apart like this, or you can push it together. You can also take your piece of paper. I did this for a couple of mine. I looped it and twisted it. You can do that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on, get it over that fat part, and then I'm going to slide it up. And once I slide it all the way to the top, gently and carefully, then if I want to reposition anything, I can. So I'm going to lay that to the side, and I'm going to take another piece. Let's see, yellow. No, pink, purple, black. And I'm going to do another skinny piece. But if you want to do, you can cut it however you want. They can be short and fat. You can cut triangles, just like we did with our other sculpture. So I think for this one, I'm going to try putting 4 holes in it. So I'm going to put one here, one here, one here, and one here. And let's see how that works. Okay, so I'm going to go here and gently, I kind of wiggle my wood piece a little bit. I don't want to go too far because I don't want to miss my hole. And so there, that one's there. And then this one here. And then this one here. I think I like though I mean, that's interesting to me, but I also think it's interesting when I twist them so that they kind of lay funny. So I'm going to bring this all the way up gently and carefully, and I'm going to go move it to a different direction. I don't want it to line up perfectly with my orange. It's kind of like, I think we talked about that in our other sculpture as well. So I'm having that go in different directions. All right, now I think I'm going to go with pink. Do I have purple? Oh, I do have some purple. All right, so here's a piece of purple. I'm going to cut that. And I think maybe I'm going to keep this one long. And maybe, let's see, could loop it like that. Or, yeah, I think I'm going to, it kind of reminds me of the women, the ribbons that women wear for when they're supporting the fight against cancer, the little pink ribbons. Let's see, I want to loop it like that. There we go. All right, I'm going to turn that around that way. So you want to be considering, like I look at this already and I'm like, probably shouldn't have done that purple there because I've already, oh, sorry, there. My camera's in the wrong place. The light purple and then the darker purple. Part of me, when I look at it and I think, maybe I should have gone with a different color. It was red. Green, that's what I need. I need some lime green. There we go. That's going to look good. And with the green, this one's nice and long, so I probably could try, I don't know, how many holes did I do? I did 4 on that other one. I could do more than that. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know how this will work. Let's see. That's a lot of holes. All right, I'm going to put this one in. Got to be careful not to tear it. And, oops, those are close together. I can't scoot that up too high before I go through the next hole. You know what I think might look good is if I added some long, skinny pieces of foam sticking out. I think I'm going to do that next. Let's see, get on there. And, okay, almost got it. Oh, come back here. There we go, and last one here. Oh, hey, I wonder if I could twist and make them kind of, I don't know, I kind of like it just where it's all sort of lined up like that. All right, so very gently, I'm going to push that up toward the top. Oh, that lime green looks good next to that purple. But I think I'm going to, like I said, you can, once you get it up there, you can kind of adjust it how you want. If you want a little bit of space between, or if you want them to be a little bit tighter. Okay. I'm gonna leave that there. And then I know that that hot pink looks good next to green. And then I think maybe I'll go back to black and repeat that. All right, let me see what kind of colors I got here in my foam. I don't really like these colors. I guess I could do orange, maybe. Oh, there's pink I want. I want this pink. There it is. All right, so what I'm going to do with my foam, oh, that looks good next to that green, doesn't it? I'm going to make a skinny piece that's just going to flap around. It's going to stick out like that. And I think I'll do a couple of those. Let's see. So that goes there. And you can wiggle this out a little bit. You won't need to do it much because we're actually going in on the pointy end. The reason that we had to open the hole up so much on this end is because it's the flat end and there is no point. And that's a little harder to get that up in there. I'm hearing a strange noise in my house. I don't know what that is. Okay, so there's a pink and maybe another pink. Maybe, oh yeah, that's it, definitely. Okay, so, but I don't want it to be the same length. I want it to have some variety. So I think I'll do this one shorter. Like, I don't know, this. Yeah. And then I'll put that there. I kept losing my push pin when I was working today and trying to get this done, but I had to remind myself that every time I use it, Julia, stick it back in the cardboard. Okay, so now I think I'll do another one, but maybe the light purple. Yep. All right, there we go. So you can see that, how that kind of sticks out like, it looks like a pinwheel. All right, so I'm gonna lay that down. And let's see. And you can see from this, when I was doing it today, I was experimenting with cutting zigzag edges and things like that. Let's see where where that piece is. Yeah, you can see that in here, this one. Of course, these I just curled the same way that that we did for the other paper sculpture, where I rolled it around a pencil. Those were fun. And then, of course, the zigzag where you fold it like a fan. So let's see. But I want this one to look a little bit different. I didn't want to do exactly the same thing. So, although, you know, it's funny because this is not how I pictured it. And that seems to be such a common thing with visual artists. I have a lot of visual artist friends, and it's funny how so often we will start on a project, whether it's a painting or a sculpture or whatever it is, and we have this idea in mind of how we think it's going to look, right? And we get started on it, and then we get halfway through or all the way through and look back on it and go, that's not at all how I pictured it. That's not the image I had in my mind of it. And sometimes that's a good thing that we're happy with, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes we as artists get frustrated because, you know, it's like, oh, that's not what I wanted. But this, I really like the spontaneousness of this project, because as I go along, I don't really have a plan, and I'm just letting the paper and the colors sort of guide me. So I think that I will do another long, skinny, but in yellow. And let's see. I think I want it to be bigger loops. I wonder, I guess you could do bigger loops so it gets tighter at the top and wider at the bottom like a Christmas tree. And you could, oh, that would be interesting. You know, you could put the holes in here and have the pieces on the sides. Oh, that's probably how you could make it look like a tree. You know, having your pieces get longer as they go down. That's interesting. But I think I'm going to stick with what I've been doing. This and this and this, and I think I'll loop. Maybe, oh, I lost my push pin again. So I'm going to put this piece in there. As I sit here working, I imagine your dad and the two of you talking and working together and experimenting with which colors you want and which way you're going to cut it and fold it. And then every now and again somebody goes, ow, I poked my finger. There we go. I think I want the bigger part on that side. Oops. Get back over there. There we go. All right, so we got that. Now, what's next? Green, orange. I don't know. It looks like I need to repeat that dark orange, or maybe ooh, blue. That's what I need. Blue, blue, blue. Do I have any blue? I got light purple. I got light pink. There's my blue. There's my blue. Although, I might just go ahead and do I want that now? Well, oh, that color looks so pretty, doesn't it? I'm going to go ahead and stick that on there and see if I like it. If this is this way, then I'm going to do this one first, and this one second, and stick that here. And I guess, of course, you could cut it once you get it on there if there's something you don't want, or you want to snip off a corner, or cut something and fold it up or fold it down. That's another way to do it. Yeah, I like that. I think I'm going to leave that like that. But it feels like now it needs something on this side to balance out. So, orange again, red, hot pink. No. What does the red look like? Yep, I think it needs to be red. All right. I don't know. Do I want that zigzag edge? You know what? I think I do. I think I do. You should see the mess at my table right now in my studio. It looks like an art explosion. I am not an organized artist. I understand there are some artists who are organized in their studio space and all clean. That's not me. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what I want. And it seems like you could, what if you also could put a hole? What if your dad has a hole punch? Hole punches are fun to make holes in the art. Let's see, do I want the skinny part first? Do I want the skinny part at the bottom? I think I want it at the top. Where's my, there it is. All right, so I'm gonna put this and I'm gonna do this, and I think I'm gonna have this go in and like that, so that doesn't look so boring. And I'll put this one here. Do you stick out your tongue when you're concentrating? Sometimes I do. My allergies are bothering me. There we go. Okay. I like how that looks staring down at it. Let's see. And I want it to be on, it's kind of hard to see on that blue side. Oh, that looks pretty. I like that. The red actually looks brighter. I'm looking at it on the screen on my computer. It looks brighter than my eyes see it right here in person. That's funny. All right, so now looks like time for another black, and I think it needs to be a skinny black. A long skinny one. Let's see. I tried this too, having it wider at the bottom, right? And then skinny. Oh, I think I'll do it curly. I'll show you how I did the curly thing. And I did it a little bit wider on the ends so that I could poke that hole in there and not worry about tearing it. But I can make this be kind of thin. I did not trim it on both sides for the first one I made. I just trimmed it on one side, but I think I'm going to trim it on both sides now and see kind of how that works. Hey, I just thought of something. And if you have the glue stick, you know, from the other project, you could, I think I've got a glue stick handy. Yes, I do. I'll show you what when I said I just thought of something, I'll show you what I was talking about. All right, so I'm putting my skinny black piece, although do I want to curl it? I guess I could loop it. There's all kind of stuff you could do, right? Do I want to do that? I think maybe. That's kind of interesting. I think I want it to be curly. So I'm going to take this off of here, and I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to curl this around a pencil. And once I get it around the pencil, I'm going to squeeze it with my fingertips, with my thumb and finger, and I just keep rolling it like that between there, pinching it. And then I release it and it comes off. All right, so it's nice and tight, but I don't want it tight. So I'm going to shake it a little bit. I don't want it too loose. It's got a hole in one end. I could put it on and go through both ends, but I don't think I want to. I think I just want the curly end to be sticking out. and flapping around. I like the idea of movement. So I'm going to take that end that I just trimmed and recurl it. All right, so the tip end is nice and tight, right? There we go. There we go. All right, so I think that'll work. So now I'm going to take my the wide end that I had with the hole in it. I'm going to put that back on. I'm going to slide that up, hoping it doesn't move too much. I don't think I've stretched it out too much. It wants to curl up. I think I want it to curl down. I'm going to flip it over and see how that does if I do it this way. I think that's better. Okay, so that's going to hang down like that. So the thing that I was going to show you when I said, oh, I had an idea, using glue. All right, so I've got these loops here. What if I did this, right? What if I take a piece, not too thick, and I go, you could go back through here, right? And then glue and make a loop that way. Or maybe a smaller one hanging off at the yellow. Like, what if I go? Okay. I didn't think that I was going to use glue today, but if you have it handy, the glue stick handy from the art kit, and you want to do it, that's another, like, here's what I was talking about. Ugh. So this is going to go, how is this going to go? That's going to go that way. So I want glue right here. All right, and where's my loop? This loop. I want it to go this yellow loop right here, and I'm going to put that there. But the trick is you got to hold it and rub it, kind of like when we talked about that with the first paper project, because it'll want to pop off. Yeah, there you go. So that creates even more movement because that piece is just hanging and dangling. And that's kind of fun because it also, as I'm looking at it here, you can see the orange has the backdrop of the blue, and orange and blue are complementary colors, and they make each other show up. They complement each other when you've got those two side by side. And they create contrast. Okay, so let's see. I think I might go back to green. Green, yellow, orange. I don't want it to be in perfect succession. At least I'm trying not to be perfect about it. Okay, so these foam pieces, I think what I'm going to do is put another foam piece under there to keep that I think I can get this to get a hole in it. It's super thick. This is the, I don't know what brand this is. This is not like any of my other foam. I wonder if I can do that. I might can. Let's see. Let me cut this thing a little bit. It's got paint or something on it. All right, so I'm going to poke a hole here. I'm going to poke a hole here. Audrey, you work so fast on your art, you might even be finished by now. Knowing you. Wait, that's not how I want to do this. How do this? No. Is that right? Yeah. Oh, but then I have to go all the way through. That's right, though. I can do that. I can put another hole right in the bottom of this. All right. Let me see if I can make that go through there. And then push it up. There we go. All right. Can you see that? There's my green up there in the corner video. My little green foam oval. I think I need some more curlicue stuff. That needs to come out a different way. Maybe over here. Yeah. Okay, so probably two more, when looking at this length, two more colored pieces of paper. So I think I'm going to go with another yellow and red or purple. Purple, maybe the dark purple. Yeah, dark purple. Hmm. Do the purple this way. So it's a bigger piece since we've got the bigger blue. Oh, what if I go like this? Let's see if I go make an M, right? Let's see how that works. Wonder how that'll look. Oh, that's interesting. I think I'll try that. Let's see how that works. I don't want to cover up my green though. I like my green. I don't know. I don't like that. There's something about the organic curves that are really appealing to me today for some reason. So I'm gonna stick with that. I do think I need some skinny curlies again. All right, so I'm gonna put that purple like that. And, ooh, I guess I'll do a yellow curly. Oh no, I should do a yellow zigzag, like fold it like a fan. That will look interesting. So I'm gonna fold this. And really crease it, folding it back and forth, over and back. You know, Audrey, that's something that I have noticed about you. I was thinking about how you very much have your own ideas and your own ways of thinking about things and doing things. That was one of the first things I noticed about you. And when in doing this project, you know, and experimenting just myself and creating my own piece with different orders of color, different ways that I want to fold or curl, coming up with new ideas. It is something that makes me curious, and how I look forward to seeing your work each time, because that is something that seems to come naturally for you. And that's what artists do. You know, we might have 3 or 4 criteria for a project, and like not using the same color over and over again. When I would teach that first paper sculpture project we did, I would have students who would keep using the same colors over and over. So one of my criteria was that you could repeat some of the same color, but only after you used all the colors that I gave you. And so what I notice about you is when I give you a certain criteria, you use the criteria, the 3 things or the 4 things that I might say, okay, you need to have this, 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 and this. And then once you have those, you think outside the box. You come up with other creative ideas, things that I hadn't thought about. And you're a creative thinker. I like that about you. Oh, I kind of like how that one kind of just flops around loose. I wonder if I oh, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that hole in the middle. That way it can sort of dance on both sides of my wooden stick, my skewer. There we go. Yeah, I like that. You see that up there you can kind of see that when I hold it up. I like that. But it's still, to me, it looks like it needs, like we've got this big blue piece up at the top, and it's not quite balanced. Things get really tiny and skinny down here. So I've got some small stuff at the top, but I think I need maybe another larger blue piece. I'm not sure how I want to do that. I think it may be another triangle. I wonder if I cut it in a curve, you know, what that would look like. Let me try that and see how that might look. All right. I wonder how that does once it's on the skewer. Oh, that's interesting. Or it could go up. I kind of like it facing downward though. All right, let's see how that, I'm going to poke a hole in there and see how that works. All right, and this goes here. And this goes here. All right, push that up. Oh, good, that makes the yellow stand out better. Oh, that works well. I like that. Okay, but I got a hole back here, so I need another. I think my last piece is going to be over here, and I think it's going to be red. Red. Yeah. Or should it be pink? I don't know. I know I don't have any more of this pink anywhere else, but I don't care. I'm going to put it, let's see. If I do 1, 2, 3, maybe like that. No, that's too big. That's too big. I can't do that. All right, so what if, okay, I'm gonna do three holes. 1, 2, 3. So here's this one. And this one. And this one. No, that's not right. I don't like it. Wonder if I'll make it skinnier. But not too skinny, because then my holes will tear. And I don't want my paper to tear. Let's see if this will work. I'm going to put this one on here. And then I think I want to twist that like that. And then maybe twist this way. I wonder if that works. No, that doesn't work. How about this way? I don't like it. I'm not happy with it. I kind of like it when I bend it that way, but something about it's not, I'm not happy. I'm just not happy with it. No. All right, what else? What if I make a circle? I don't know. Sometimes when I'm working on my art, I get stuck. And then I have to go away from my project and come back the next day. And when I come back the next day, it looks different to me. Sometimes that's what I have to do, and that's not it either. That might be it. I don't know. If I do that, that might be what I'm looking for, but it's a little too long. Lost my push pin again. All right, here we go. That might be the balance of color and size. Everything was either too small or too large, or it wasn't working right. There we go. Push that in there. Oh, okay. That looks, there we go. That looks more balanced. Okay, so now that I have all of my pieces where I want them. All right, let me get my yellow. This is my my chunk of my modeling clay. This is called, it's an oil-based modeling clay. I think you had told me in another, when we did another visit a good while back, you were showing me your room and some of the stuff that you had and project you've made. And there are lots of different kinds of clay to play with. This is called, most typically called modeling clay, but it's an oil-based clay. This will never, ever dry out. And I think that you told me you had some of this, but it's really heavy, and it kind of gives an oily residue on your hands after you play with it. But it's good for what it does. It's nice. I used to use this a lot at Rocky Mount for practice clay because it's good for practicing 3D projects and then squishing it up and starting over and squishing it up and starting over. And so it's good for practice. And I would use it with this different classes over and over again. And it would never, ever dry out. And it was good for that, the fact that it never dried out and lots of students could use it. But what I also found was for my younger students, like kindergartner and first grade, but kindergarten especially, they didn't have the strength in their hands to squeeze this because it's very stiff. And depending upon what brand you buy, it can be difficult to warm up. It takes some time to warm it up. And I noticed when I was making my first paper sculpture, this one that I showed you that I made earlier today, it took me a minute to kind of get the clay to where it would squeeze into a ball shape. So I made a ball, and then I put it on the table and kind of pressed it. I don't want to flatten it. As you can see, it's still, where is my camera? There it is. It's still shaped like a ball, but what I did was I just made a flat spot. But it's still pretty tall. You want it nice and tall before you insert your stick into it, because if it's too flattened out, your sculpture piece will fall over. So keep it as tall as you can. You just need a little bit of a flat spot on the bottom so that it doesn't roll around. And then, let's see, I'm going to switch to my regular front view. Here we go. All right. So then you've got your chunk of clay, and you take your stick, your skewer, and push it down in there good and deep, all right? And then you can kind of adjust your pieces of paper and things how you want it, all right? So there we go. So there's my second one. Let's see, let's compare it to my first one. There's the first one I made. I like how they move, and there's parts of it that wiggle. I like that. I like the movement in there with the boingy, curly, wiggly parts. Those are fun. Those are fun. There were two artists that I think of. Alexander Calder. He was just an incredibly creative thinker. He used to, I remember reading about him when he was a boy and was like 13 years old. He would have, the way his mind thought, he would have he created pulleys and levers and cords and strings that would make the blinds go up. And I mean, he lived a long, long time ago, but he had all these things that would move, and he had he made he did some sculptural pieces out of wire, and he made these little toys that could move, and then he made these big circus, like a circus. It would cover a whole table, and it had all these wire animals that he made, and everything would move, and his friends would come over. This was as an adult. He did the circus thing, and his friends would come over. His name was Alexander Calder, but they called him Sandy, and all his friends would come over, and Sandy would just put on a show for him with this whole 3D wire and mixed media, and do this whole circus performance with his stuff. And he was also friends at the time with another famous artist whose name was Juan Miro. And Miro was a painter, and Miro worked in bright colors like we've just used. And when you look at Miro's paintings, you'll see a lot of red, black, and yellow combinations in a lot of his paintings. And it's abstract. It's just abstract shapes. And Sandy Calder was looking at his work one day, and he said, this is the way I imagine it. I don't know what they actually said in conversation, but from this research that I've done and the stories I've read, that Miro was excited about flat two-dimensional shapes in his paintings and his abstract work with the black and red and yellow. And Calder, when Sandy Calder saw it, he was like, well, yeah, that's cool, but wouldn't it be cool if it could move? And so he went back to his place and to his art studio, and he did some paintings too, and he made jewelry. I mean, he did all kind of art in all these different ways, but he liked to create art that moved, and he is the artist that invented the mobiles that hang from the ceiling. Like we typically think of them associated above a baby's crib, but he made them. Some of them are massive sculptures. You may have seen them. I know your parents have traveled a lot, but some of the large museums around the United States, like Chicago. He might have even been from Chicago, if I'm thinking correctly. But massive metal sculptures that were mobiles, is what he called them, because they were mobile, because they moved. The pieces would move, and some of them hanging from the ceilings. I think there's one at the Guggenheim. There's one the Guggenheim Museum. There's this massive structure. I mean, to weigh it would be really heavy. That was what was another thing that was extraordinary about his work. These large metal pieces that were heavy, but when you look at the way they move, and they would move so slowly, and they looked light. They looked light as air, but they weren't, and they were massive. So that's what I think of. I think of Miro and Calder's work when I see these paper sculptures. So that's your mini visual arts lesson on different artists for today. So let's see, we are at time. It's 4:58, and I would love to chat with you just a minute afterwards. So maybe on the app, if you've got just a minute, and then I know your dad can take photographs of your work and send it to me. But I hope you had fun today, and I look forward to talking to you. So I'm going to stop the live stream, and then we'll chat for a minute in the STARS app. Okay?